Well, hello everybody. Mike with Spray Jones coming to you with another video on spray foam insulation. If you're new to this channel, my name is Mike. I'm the owner of Spray Jones, which is a contracting firm in Canada. I've been in business for 20 years, but I've been in the spray foam industry for 25, and I've done a lot of work spraying foam in residential, commercial, ag, industrial situations. And now, while we're spraying foam, I produce content on education matters towards the foam industry across North America. Today, I want to talk to you about an important topic that we see a lot of people bringing up in the more ignorant circles. They don't understand things, which is chemistry. Is this one big chemistry experiment? How do we even know what the heck we're doing? Is this beyond the capacity of our installers and it's just stroke of luck that we got it right, or is there actually some meaning behind this? That's what we're going to discuss today. I am very excited to announce that we are really close to my new platform launching. In fact, we're going to be going into a test mode, and then we're doing the public launch. These are the next two stages. So stick around. You will not miss these announcements. Be watching here a lot, and we will make it loud and important and aware about what we're doing. Okay, on to the chemistry aspect of this. Let's dispel a couple of things right here, right now. One, this is not an experiment. This is established chemistry that is in the drums. We have got large multinational corporations that employ chemists and designers and formulators and people with expertise, and that's where the experimentation is being done in the lab, right? They are working at getting the right cell structure, adhesion, coadhesion, water absorption, density, everything. There is an entire profile of making what they want for the finished product and how the finished product is supposed to be interacting with the building, right? And then it goes out for certification and testing by third parties. These are ASTM standards and UL committees and ULCs, and these are the third-party agencies that don't have a dog in the race. They're there to establish, does your stuff stick? Does it shrink? Does it pull back? Does it crack? Does it shift? Does it absorb water after 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 30 years? Then there's other licensing bodies that do testing on the testing. So it's verified once, then it's verified a second time, then it's compiled into reports. Those reports are then brought back to the original formulators and the original overseeing bodies, licensing bodies, right? So these are not quick to produce products. In fact, when there's major chemistry changes, like a new blowing agent or a new cell structure, it can take upwards of 5 years to develop the chemistry, perfect it, and then get it out there. All right, what about the equipment? What about installing it? Did we just come up willy-nilly with a spray gun and we dumped some stuff in the top, we dumped here and we dumped? No. This is actual designed precision equipment. You've got to have a product that can be installed, and the chemists are designing products, chemistry products, that can be installed with application equipment that is capable of producing the ratio 1-to-1. So if you have equal volume of A and equal volume of B, and A and B together are going to make C, which is the final product that you're paying for, it's the chemist's job to come up with a design, a formulation that the processing equipment can actually pump, heat, pressurize, spray, mix, and it will apply. And somebody who's brilliant at this is Dave Lull, the owner of Ambit Polyurethanes. Like, Dave explained this to me at SPFA, that he had to get the viscosities of the A and the B, and he had to get them close to each other so that when they went through the heaters and they went through the lines and they went to the gun, that they could actually mix 1-to-1 equally by volume. So there's a riddle that they're solving in the lab. How do I get the product to do what it needs to do? But then how do I get it to be processable and applicable, right? So here's what the processing equipment will need to be. Then the equipment manufacturers go and make that. They make the pumps, they make the guns, they make the mixing chambers, they make the heated hoses, they make the proportioning machines. These things can be incredibly complex, but I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. The foam that was sprayed 40 years ago with downright primitive equipment compared to what we can have today produced just as good a foam 45 years ago as we can produce today. Today's equipment does not make a better grade foam than we made back then. You know, we can measure it, we can monitor it, we can give you a printout report on your iPhone as to what it's done, but we still were able to make a very good, long-lasting polyurethane foam for a roof or a wall in 1969, 1964. Ask the veterans. That's why we're interviewing. That's why we're talking to them. They are not cowboys. They are pioneers. They went into territory where nothing existed. The standards, the chemistry, the equipment, and they built it. They built it to work, and they built it to solve a problem and accomplish something. That's what pioneering is all about. So if you fast forward to now today, what happens when a spray foam truck arrives? Well, you're going to have a product that the chemistry is known. It's in batches. It's in lot numbers. It's sealed into drums, right? You've got established, verifiable industry proportioning equipment. Obviously, just like driving to work in your car, it should have regular maintenance done to it. It should have the proper seals and the proper things working. And that's just common sense. Like, that's like saying to your boss, hey, I got 4 bald tires, and every time I try to get to work, I got a flat. Well, okay, is it really the car's fault, or is it your mindset? So the spray foam guys need to have good equipment, good proportioning equipment. Keep the drums inside and warm, or if it's in the summertime, cool. Good hoses, good spray gun. And then they need to be trained in how all of this works together. And I think that's the big factor that people get freaked out about. Am I going to throw a guy on the gun that has been spraying since 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago? No. I believe that this needs to be an apprenticeship program where you are learning your trade beside somebody that already has established and understands it. But there's lots of consultants, there's lots of training courses, there's lots of assistants out in the field. That's what Spray Jones has been doing for a while, trying to explain to you what's going on. So when we arrive, the truck is warm, or in the summertime it's air conditioned. We have the correct chemical on. We have chemical that's not expired. We have chemical that has been established to physically be able to do what it needs to do, how it needs to do it. The proportioning equipment is industry standardized. It's well maintained and looked after. It goes through supporting equipment, hoses and guns. Those guns are in my guys' hands all the time. They understand how they work. They can take them apart blindfolded, just like a Marine putting together their 1911 or their M1. They can do it in 10 seconds flat with their eyes shut, right? There's a familiarity with the systems. We understand the velocity, the mix, the temperature. We understand how humidity and ambient temperature and substrate temperature affect whether or not our product is going to be able to do what it needs to do. We record all of that because we're Canadian. We record all that in a daily log. Americans, you need to be doing this. You need to be writing down temperature, humidity, substrate temperature, ambient air temperature, what the lot numbers are, what the address is, and what you're there to do. You need to have a daily record. And what that does is it proves that what you're doing at site is manufacturing the final product, and there's an actual quality control going aspect into the final result. Was I spraying to a wall? Was I spraying to a roof? Was I spraying 2 inches? Was I spraying 3? Was I spraying 4? What's the lot number? How's your equipment working? And then verify everything. Is it an experiment? No. It is an established industry parameter, the same as welding. Right rod, right temperature, right amperage, right surface prep. It is no different than welding a pipeline joint or welding structural steel. I don't hear anybody sitting there declaring that welding shouldn't be allowed, right? The spray foam industry is no different. We're making the final product on site. It's not an experiment. It's an established fact with what the chemistry is, the equipment is, and the installer is pulling the trigger. They are the ones overseeing start, stop, I've got an issue. Yeah, there's a lot of importance to that. But you know what? So is a guy who's driving a semi-truck. He's got to put it down the road and make sure he's not going to put it in the ditch, flip it over, hit a school bus full of kids. He's got to make sure he's not drunk. He's got to make sure he's not driving when there's a storm or rain. He's too tired, right? He's not coked out on amphetamines or something like that, or back relaxing pills. Like, there's a whole lot of things that go into driving a truck. is no different than spray foam. I think a lot of people forget the human element, that people are people, and then they try to blame the foam and blame the industry and say, well, then this should be outright disallowed and it should be banned. Well, no, there's nothing wrong with the product. There's nothing wrong with the chemistry. There's nothing wrong with the equipment. People are people. You want to be replaced by AI and robots, and a robot will go in and spray it and take your job, go right ahead. Maybe that's what's going to come to one day, that we will set up on site like the UK does, and they've got a lot of robots that are spraying the foam now. They got robot technology that is capable, and all you are doing as an installer is watching gauges and a screen. And the robot is actually functionally going around and spraying it. And it's being recorded, what's being done, how, and where. Maybe that's the future of the industry. It probably is. But still, there's a human element, which is checking on everything and making sure they showed up and that they had the right thing at the right place at the right time. So I've got the facts on this. We're not spraying something that was invented yesterday and something that was brought to the market hastily. And there's building envelope consultants, and there's architects, and there's engineers, and there's drafting people, and there's insurance companies, and they all sign off on what we're doing, how we're doing it, and why. Is there a risk? Yeah, there's a risk when you walk out of your bed in the morning, right? That you're not going to create a problem. But the spray foam industry is not going out and willy-nilly it. Now, are there some bad actors and bad eggs out there? Absolutely. Same as there is in every single industry. Framing, roofing, building inspection, accounting, lawyers, doctors, you name it. Every industry's got them. This industry is no different. What we're trying to do is educate you, the installer, the consumer, the guy, the gal involved in installing or receiving spray foam, to have professionalism and understanding that it does work and that it's not just a lottery as to whether or not the foam went on and worked. I've been doing this now. I've been in this foam industry for 25 years. In the last 20, I've owned spray drones. I've paid the mortgage, folks, by the foam that we spray. And if it was inherently risky all the single time with the product we sprayed, the equipment we used, and the people that did it, I wouldn't be doing it. My people love their jobs, and they're good at it, and they get well paid to do it. And the people that we work for like the foam that we put in, and it solves problems, and it improves their lives. So that's win-win. So I hope this video is of help to you. Share, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you real soon on the new platform and all the things that we're going to be doing leading up to that and on more expansion. Talk to you then. Bye.